What does TADATMYA mean to me?
Haribo, Hare Krishna. My name is Sudarshan Das. Some people know me as Trip. It's fine. So I just wanted to answer this question, what is TADATMYA, with everyone today. I wanted to first thank you, Sri Padmanabha Maharaj, for creating this forum for us to share, and thank you, Sri Bhakti Rasa, for facilitating this project. I'm very grateful to you both. Especially to Maharaj for his inclusive work. He has contributed over the past couple of years to this project. And if you have not already read it, his book, Radical Personalism, outlines this topic in beautiful detail. I'd love to use this time to describe its effect on me personally and how I see TADATMYA. TADATMYA, as a community, has become in its own way a satellite of safety, one that is among a constellation of spiritual thought. It is to me a refuge of non-judgmental self-inquiry and a forum for our evolution. That's it, Tadat. But as simple as that sounds, the rest of those stars in that expansive universe of spiritual thinkers are all composed of paths that have been cut and carved and cemented over by many travelers. And as a result, we have many different schools of thought, many traditions, even within the same culture, who praise the same deity, even at the same temple or even among the same teacher. In fact, I would imagine you could have twins who learned from the same teacher for decades, attended the same classes, read the same books, arrived at the exact same affirmations. But I have no doubt that even in this example, they would surely find something to disagree about. And that's the nature of what I perceive as TADATMYA. It's the idea that we can actually embrace what separates us to ultimately bind us together. And that feels anecdotally very similar to Krishna's Rasa Leela, that every separation we feel is also a cause for celebration. And I could not agree more with the recurring theme in the Radical Personalism Manifesto, that the medium of our self-inquiry has to be a living experience that evolves and adapts to its place in time and to its adherent's way of life. There's no one-size-fits-all. Of course, there's a benefit of a one-size-fits-all practice. If we say to a group, you're only members if you do X, Y, and Z, then we feel a strong sense of binding community. We're all wearing the same dress. We say the same things. We do exactly the same meditation and process. And the benefit is that there's a bottom line defined to our identity. But we can also argue that this is a very superficial practice. And that's ultimately because if we want to personalize our relationship with God, then we have to also personalize our relationship with each other first. We have to personalize the practice, which isn't to say we should have the right to do less or practice less, or that TADATMYA is a group of slacker spiritualists. Rather the opposite. My perception of TADATMYA is that in this group, the practice, the things we share, are each an individual consequence of our radical personalism, not the other way around, where the individual is the consequence of the group. When the individual is first, it actually requires a little bit more tapas, much more effort, because it's a spirituality without clothing, similar to the adage, the emperor without clothes. You could say, who are we first as people? And for me, if we address that, if we answer that question, then it's a natural consequence to see Sankirtanam, Prashadam, and Sevadevanam manifest out of thin air. I would like to think that the themes of our Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, our saints, their words, their writings, share very powerful intersections in a lot of modern work involving trauma and addiction, evolution, science, self-awareness. And I think there's a beautiful crossover here with the TADATMYA community to render these experiences inclusive to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. to see how a fruit may fall from a single tree and land in the hands of different people, sometimes far beyond the boundaries of our cultural understanding. And that's okay, I think, because I am personally, pun intended, always inspired to see others bring these forged items back to the fold of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And without saying, I believe that's something that the community of Tadatmya encourages. Because if I understand it correctly, Tadatmya is a personalist first approach, where the community, the culture, the dogma are more or less considered echoes of our work accomplished at the individual level. And there's a wonderful parallel here that is shared at a university level of fine arts, in that despite the community, the students, the audience, and the professor all having their own overarching predisposition of art and what the art is, and the nature of the institution is to develop the perception of art itself and the motivation to develop it. The teacher doesn't tell the student what to make, they only encourage them to explore new facets of their creativity. That would be versus the industrial factory approach of saying to someone, this worked for so-and-so 150 years ago, do exactly this. And that philosophy does indeed work for things like oil drilling or car maintenance or elevator repair. But when it comes to art, or more specifically to Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Parasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, then we must, at least I would think we humbly must develop a platform rather than a cookie cutter. And I feel that Tadatmya is specifically providing a forum to do just that. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.